Welcome to Voice of the People. We're in the Neutral Voices studios, and I know we got a lot to talk about, but we're going to hear the voice of the people from our show last night about is the dream dead? But of course, we got to address the elephant that's been in the whole town. It wasn't just in the room today. We're going to talk about the whole elephant that was in the whole town today. That there was a stir up, and it's befitting because we're in Black History Month, and we talk about the people that keep telling us, oh, get over it. That was years ago. It's a different time. It's a different day. But we wake up today and we're still in what, 1963, 1964. So,
we're further than that.
We're further than that?
Yeah.
But, I'm going to toss it to you first, only because you have the closest investment to this because you have a child at Homestead High School. So I understand that you have some, I'm going to say second, but firsthand knowledge of it. So tell us what really happened and how this got to this point today.
It got to the point today because the dream is dead. Period. I mean, you have to understand what happened at Homestead today or yesterday or whenever the picture they claim that was posted. If you read the caption of the picture, that situation is taught. Period. Love is taught. Hate is taught. That is taught.
I got you there.
And I wanted my son to be here so he could really explain some other stuff because he was one of the kids that stood up and spoke boldly, and I was so proud of him to see him stand up and really let them know how he felt with no filter.
Right. I got you.
And they still don't understand the situation. They still don't understand how these kids feel.
Right.
Because they only see it from one lens, their lens.
I was having this conversation before we came on the air, and I said a lot of those things that you are saying. But give us as much as your knowledge, and then we're going to move on, but give us as much as your knowledge of what really happened.
Actually, they started a protest early that morning.
Well, give us the background. Did they say? We know it's a picture. We know it was a post, but like I asked you before we was on air, there's two different scenarios.
Two different sides to the story.
They're saying that
actually is three sides to the story. Their side, this side, and the truth.
Yes, but they're saying that this happened a while ago.
Yeah,
and some people said it just happened yesterday in a time frame.
It happened back in the summer.
Okay.
But if you look at the timestamp and the wording on the picture, when it says "Not My Black History Month," let's make it make sense.
I got you there.
So I mean, when the kids understood what was going on and they protest, and they did it peacefully and did it rightly, and then they went to a classroom to have the conversation, and they left the classroom, went to the auditorium. They have the same conversation, and I guess Monday they're gonna finish the conversation because they're out of school tomorrow.
Okay,
but I look at it like this: that gives them time now to set the narrative.
Well, give who time to set?
Give the school administration.
Okay,
to set the
I just want to be clear
where they wanted to be at.
Yes, I could agree with you on that.
So I'm looking at why let them set the narrative when you guys already set the narrative. You already set the tone. Now they give them time. No, we got to sit back and think about what we need to do and how we need to do this. And it's a chess game at this point.
I got you.
And that's how I look at the whole situation. Now we not, and I look at it as parents. We need to stand back and say, okay, y'all finna play chess. We finna play chess too with y'all.
Yes. I get you.
My question was going to be, what is the presence of the parents of the students that go to Homestead? Because I saw the post, and my daughters are out of high school, but I was fuming. Like, I wish I had a kid in high school so I can go to the high school. That's the kind of parent I am. So what is the feedback of the parents? What's going to happen? What are the parents doing?
From my understanding, the parents are setting a committee to deal with the issues.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm not. And I'm just gonna say this, and I had to tell my kid's mom this. I'm Malcolm. I'm not Martin.
I feel you. I feel you. Period.
Okay, so with that being said, I just want to know, what would you like to see done?
First and foremost, from all the issues the kids have, that need to be addressed out the gate. It's not even about the funny part about it, it's not even about that picture.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the.
That's what I want you to talk about.
Yes.
It's not about that picture. It's about the things that goes on in that school.
Yes. Yes.
The kids are more, that picture sparked the whole situation.
Right.
But what actually goes on between the teachers and and the kids, some of the students in that school, and I'm gonna be, and you know, something I said I'm not gonna do this, but I got to. My son is in show choir. I went to his competition Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Finley High School from Ohio,
Finley, Ohio. Yeah.
was performing. Once they got done performing, they all got up in that row. And lady tapped me. It's like, hey, you can have my seat. Now I'm gonna be 100 about what I'm about to say. I went to sit down in the seat on the end of the row, and got the end of the row seat and got the judge's seat. And the judge's seat has the judge's sign on it. This is only for judges. For one lady to tell me I can't sit at the end of the row. Honest to God truth. And
Are you saying somebody else was already sitting there and they got
the
up?
lady that got up told me I could have her seat.
Okay, gotcha.
And you were told you couldn't.
I was told I couldn't. Hold on. And here's what really gets, I'm finna get really deep into this. And I told her if it was the judge's seat, it would have this tag on it just like this one does.
And what did she say?
Well, they're going to sit there, they're going to tell you to move. If they didn't tell that lady that was sitting here to move, why would they tell me to move? Hold on, let me finish. I got to finish this story. I got to. For the end of the competition, I'm clapping for Homestead. The lady that told me I couldn't sit in that seat was like, "Oh, who you here to see?" Mind you, there's only 2 black kids in show choir. And I'm saying I'm here to see my son. Your son? Who's your son? I told him my son. Oh, I had him in class.
Different attitude.
Whole different attitude. So that let me know you didn't want me to sit next to you because of
Who
I was. And I'm gonna be 100 about it. It was their home. It was that, and I'm not gonna hold no punches behind it. It's one of their teachers at their school that said this to me. So that let me know the culture of the school. Period.
And I would agree with you because I talked to some people and I know some people that had children go to Homestead, and they said that this has been permeating for a while, and it's just now hitting the airwaves or the media or whatever it is. But this is a culture. You're right, E. And again, it is secondhand knowledge because I don't have any. But E, I do believe because you are in that situation, and it's sad that happened. And it doesn't matter when it happened. I think it was handled improperly.
Right. And you say that, and it's still the same thing I'm asking. And I'm asking because I don't have a child. So I don't really know what I would feel and what I would want to see happen. So I'm asking, especially for someone or a parent that has a child in that situation, things have been said about this particular school, Homestead High School, many times. And I'm saying years.
Yeah.
So nothing has happened. What is it that this straw today, I'm going to say it, this was the straw that broke the camel's back, sounds like.
Well,
because they had an auditorium with a lot of even adults, not just kids, but there were adults and I'm going to say a sheriff and, different people in there that had a conversation, had something to say. But what is it at the end of the day that parents are wanting? I know what the students want. They want to be treated fair. But what is it that the parents want to see happen?
The parents want to see the same thing the students want to see. fairness, first and foremost. Treat it right. I mean, as a parent that my child go there, the funny part about it, every day I fear for his life.
That's
Going to the
sad.
school.
Going to that school.
And so,
And it's real talk, because at the end of the, I get the conversation with my son. And I, me being who I am, like I said, I'm Malcolm, not Martin. Stand your ground, handle your business. I'll take care of the consequences.
Okay.
Because the simple fact, if you don't stand your ground, if you don't stand fast, they're gonna continue to push and push and push you. And it's time out. And it's a beautiful thing that we have social media. It's beautiful things we have kids now that's willing to stand up and say enough is enough.
And I have to point this out to you because we're going to hit some comments. But E, I'm going to have to disagree with you when you opened the statement and said that the dream is dead.
Dream is dead.
The dream
Is dead. And, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
The
first.
dream is not dead.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why the dream is not dead. And Doc V and I spoke this last night, is because once the dream was manifested verbally, that kept the dream in people's mind and keep. The reason I say the dream is not dead, because your son, along with all those other people, they took up the banner, they took up the mantle, they took up the baton, and they started their fight. They started what they knew that they could do. If the dream was dead, they wouldn't have been able to do this. They wouldn't have been able to have their voices heard. It would have been snuffed out long before. But they had the right, and they utilized their rights, and they did it in a rightful manner. So that's why
they did it like the king.
That's why I said the dream is not dead.
Not like Malcolm X would have did it.
Okay, here's what I say why the dream is dead. If the dream was alive, well, okay, you call it a dream. I call it a nightmare.
Maybe you're having a nightmare right now.
No.
I'm saying, I know, and that's why I'm saying Dr. King didn't have a nightmare. And
It's
so
a
if we're
nightmare.
talking about the
Because
King dream,
if
it was what it was.
Okay, if it was a dream, and we're still fighting that same dream.
We're not fighting a dream.
Yes, we are. We still fighting the same.
You
thing
mean fighting for
Hold on,
what the dream stood for?
We still fighting for the same equality and the same education.
We are.
And so if that's a dream, I look at it as a nightmare.
But listen, what you just said, we still fighting for it, which means it's not
it's
dead.
a nightmare then. If we still fighting the same fight,
but
we continue to fight. Guess what that is? That's a nightmare.
It's called hope. At the end of the day, you are still hoping for change.
I'm still hoping for change, and so while I'm still hoping for change, and I still got Jason putting that knife in my back. What is that?
That's the wrong movie, but you talk about Freddy. That's the wrong movie. First of all.
But
That's the wrong movie.
But I'm just saying, I still got Freddie and Jason chasing me. What is that?
Yeah, but here's
be
why.
realistic about
But here's why, and I understand, and I want everybody, and yes, when Martin died, and we talked about this last night, when Martin Luther King died, the specifics of his personal dream, his personal aspirations, did go with him. Let's be honest about that. But here's the thing too. He gave us a dream, but his dream was built on a plan that was already in motion before he even got started.
Correct.
The civil rights movement, as we spoke last night, those things were already in motion, in fashion, before Martin Luther King even came on the scene. There was just things that he was the face, he was the voice, he was the one that could move that vehicle along. So I would say his personal aspirations did surmise with him. I would say that. But the dream is not dead. And that's why I say, because this is a prime example of somebody learning from the past and utilizing what their rights and so I mean,
I just think the youth are fed up. I think that the generation that we birth, having teenage daughters, adult, and talking to them about what's going on, I think they're fed up. I think they feel, and we've had this show before and had this conversation, where they feel like our generation and the one before us dropped the ball.
We didn't drop the ball. We fumbled that dream. Unless somebody else pick it up.
Do you know what I'm saying? Where nobody picked up, because we still asking after Malcolm and Martin, who picked up the baton? right? So that's the generation before us, which is my parents, and us.
What generation you in?
We in the same age. Nice
Because
try.
I'm totally going to disagree with you on that.
I'm just.
I'm totally going to disagree with you on that.
Tell me,
But-
who is the leader in our generation?
But I'm going to totally disagree with you on that.
I'm with
But
Mildred on
but
this
but
one.
Tell me. I wanna-
we
Let me Google him. Let me Google him and find him and educate me.
honestly, we're gonna have this conversation, but legitimately,
Just
for
answer the
purposes
question, Clarence.
You walking away from the
no,
question.
I'm not
Just
walking away from the
answer
question.
the question.
I'm not
Who
walking away
picked
from the
up the
question.
ball?
I'm not walking away from the
Because
question.
who
But
picked up the
it's-
baton
this is
after
a
Malcolm
different.
and
This is a different conversation.
How's
This
it
is
How?
different.
We're
How's it
talking
a
about
different
MLK's
conversation?
dream.
Yes.
You asked about a dream, and
Okay,
the question
okay.
is, yeah, I'm gonna
Okay,
keep poking the
okay.
bear.
No, you can't poke the bear.
Oh, yes, I am.
No.
why not?
You got to have an emotional person to poke the bear.
No,
I'm always going to be analytical with you.
Okay,
Okay,
be
so-
be
I'm
analytical with
I'm
me.
always
Who
be
picked up the
analytical.
ball?
I'm always be
in,
analytical with
in our generation and the generation before us.
You got something to say?
What
Dr.
I wanted to say
Why you
is,
running from the
No,
question?
I
I'm
believe
gonna give
I
Dr. Ian have a
believe
chance
that
to
the
talk.
answer to that would be that we don't see anyone that we're proud of, and at least proud enough to put them up here or to say their name, because if we knew who it was, we would say it. Like,
Because we
without
have nobody.
hesitation.
Because
And so
we
when you
have
look
nobody.
at the way that those two led a people, you don't really have anybody that I know of at this time that's doing that and that's moving in that way.
Thank you for
We
answering that
failed.
question.
We failed.
But I believe that if there's someone that Clarence is leaning toward in his mind, he will share that with us before the end of the show.
I hope so.
Dr.
So-
B,
Yeah,
you know something? You said that so eloquently,
Right.
and you said thank you for saying
Yeah.
that eloquently. But I'm going to be raw about it. We failed, and I'm going to be quite honest. We failed in my generation and the generation before us. We failed. Period. And I'm proud to see that kids and the generation after us and my kids and our kids picking up that baton and say we sick of
And
this.
I'm still going to totally disagree with you, and I'm a peacefully disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why, because y'all said the generation, we're in the same generation, correct? Correct.
Well, I'm behind y'all.
You behind? Well, same generation, same age. The generation is 25 years.
I'm behind y'all.
You're not less than 20. You're not more than 25 years older than younger than I am.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
All right.
But here's what I'm saying. Now, leader wise, aspect wise, as a generation as a whole, I could say no, we haven't had the most substantial leader but have there not been leaders? Yes. Think about our generation. Our generation, and this is why I'm totally disagreement with you. Our generations, the late 90s, the mid to late 90s. Do y'all know what the movement was in the mid to late 90s? And y'all gonna say we were part of this. So y'all can't say that it wasn't a movement.
Come on.
Do y'all not know what the cause was? Do y'all not know what the fight
I don't
was?
want you to come on with it, man. Don't even ask. Just go ahead with the fight.
No, y'all ask me. I don't
Fight
ask
the
y'all.
power.
That's part of it.
I mean, we was part of the fight.
That's
the power.
part of it.
I mean, we had musical inspiration that
Wait.
ended up
I'm
being
not
shut
even
down.
talking about musical.
Okay, where you going with it?
I'm not even talking about musical.
I know
See,
there was a lot of drugs and a lot of deaths because of AIDS in that time period. So, what is
But
it?
just because we have limited time, we just don't
I
want
mean, we need you to go
to.
in.
Right, and
We
he
don't
said-
want
and-
to ponder
go ahead.
the thought, because it could be
Yeah.
some different angles you're looking
there's
at.
really some different angles, but this is not. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all not in a mindset to hear. I agree.
The
I'm
people
agreeing
want
with
to
y'all.
hear. We have some intelligent.
stop beating
we
around
have
the
some
bush.
I'm not beating around the
intelligent.
bush.
Okay,
I'm trying to.
We have some
Go. Trying to
intelligent
get the
viewers
shows.
and listeners,
Go.
and I believe that
I'm
they
right
want
there.
to hear and they
All
can
right.
handle it.
All right. Now, from the 1980, I'm saying 87, 88, 89, 90, we fought civil rights. We didn't only fight it in this country, but we fought it worldwide. Our generation have fought for this, and this is what I'm saying. Do y'all know what was happening in 89 and 90? Through that time period. Apartheid. Do y'all not remember apartheid? Do y'all not remember apartheid? Not only was it in this country that we were fighting, Nelson Mandela, y'all saying we didn't have leaders. It's not just American leaders. We had black leaders. For y'all to disrespect the memory of Nelson Mandela.
We're not disrespecting.
Yes, you are. Y'all said we had no leaders.
Okay.
Y'all said got named one. I'm naming one.
I don't
And the
think we
most
were
prominent
thinking
one.
that far away.
Right,
That's my point,
we're-
because
We were thinking,
you're thinking
like, right here
simple-minded.
in the
You're thinking simple-minded.
So
United-
we thinking simple.
Yes, you're
United
thinking
States of
simple-minded.
About our freedom, our rights.
United
in
States
the
of
United
America.
States
Listen.
of
Listen.
America,
Can I let y'all finish? Can I finish? Because
No,
I'm not trying to argue.
no,
I'm
gonna
not
let
trying
you
to
fin- I'm
argue.
not gonna let you
Can I finish?
Because first and
We
foremost,
Can I
shall
finish?
over.
because you sit there and say we thinking simple-minded.
Kumbaya.
We're not thinking of Nelson Mandela, because Nelson Mandela, I'm sorry, was in South Africa fighting their fight. We're talking about the fight on this land.
And let me tell you. Let me
So
tell
give
you.
me one
His
that's
fight
fought
was
on this
his
land.
not. His fight
Give
was
me-
not.
give me-
His fight
give
was
me
not
one.
only on that land. See, that's why I'm
my
telling
goodness.
y'all.
Okay,
Give me
gentlemen,
one. That was on
gentlemen.
this land.
That's what I'm not trying to argue. I'm trying
Can I
to
get
give
my
y'all-
gavel
But
to
you're
come
not gonna give me
down?
one.
Can I get my?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So the question
Please.
in the audience is, could the dream have been the wrong dream?
I agree. And I,
No.
yes.
was the wrong
Well,
dream.
let's
Dream.
wait. Can
Can
they
I
hear
read
you?
this comment? Because I've been trying to get
Wait,
to this
wait,
comment
one
for a while.
second.
You came with me
Can-
on some
No,
stuff
I came on some
Can
real
they
stuff.
you
hear
didn't. That
what
was not
the
real.
question was?
I'm gonna give the question. I'm trying.
No. What James just
I'm
said.
trying to give the question,
Yeah.
but
It wasn't a wrong dream. It was.
Can I
Read the
legitimate?
statement,
No,
because-
can I address the question? See, you and your emotions right now, E.
Oh, I mean, my
There was-
emotions-
there was
But
a
here's
question.
here's where we are.
There
The
was a question from the
was it
audience.
not the dream but the dream, was it the wrong dream? And I can say yes. And I can say, and I said it last night. I'm speaking to y'all from factual, not
don't-
emotion, not anything
I
else.
don't agree
I
with
said
that.
the dream, and this is why I say it was wrong, because Dr. King realized some of his things that he was put in front of, it was not the things that was work for his people. Because you can listen to one of his last speeches when he said, I apologize. He basically apologized and said he led his people into a burning house. That means
Deeper
that
into a burning house.
that means that it wasn't what he thought it was. And as I was saying,
Which
and
meant what?
that means
because
that
we
he-
keep saying
he
that,
got
but
he got a bad bill of goods. They told him you're going to get this. He fought for this. He got this. He ended up not getting what he said.
and he was believing.
Bait and
Is that
switch.
right?
Yeah. He was. Yes, he was
It
Gave him what he asked for to the T.
to the T.
They gave him exactly what he asked
which was from the audience. We're hearing that they gave him exactly what he asked for, which was what? Which was what?
Civil rights. He wanted to be able to sit at the white man table.
Yes.
He wanted to be able to drink out of the same water fountain as the white man.
He wanted equal
He
rights.
wanted to go to the white man's school system. Today we exist in everything that he wanted. So the dream was fulfilled. But the dream does not work for the black man.
Exactly.
It's still the white man.
Exactly.
Oh, can I say this?
Well,
How
I
many-
want to make sure
Okay,
they
Dr. G,
heard
go ahead.
what. Well, no, I just
Yeah,
want to
I
make
can
sure they
reiterate
heard
it. I can
exactly
reiterate it.
what was said
And
from
what
the
was said
audience.
was that he.
Go ahead,
Calm
go
down,
ahead,
E.
go ahead.
Calm down, E. Calm down, E. Calm down,
I'm
E.
jumping out my seat right now.
Yeah. What was said in the statement which was made was that they fulfilled and they gave Dr. King everything that he wanted, which was to sit at the white man's table, to exist in that white man's world. So he got the civil rights. He got the equal of what he
To
thought.
drink from the
Yes,
same fountain
yes,
and
yes.
to ride the bus and sit where they want to sit. I know where you were
Yeah, I
going
know.
with that. Yes. Okay.
But E, I'm gonna let you go. But we got to comment and make it quick
Okay, but
but because it addresses what he said.
yeah, my comment addresses what he says because the simple fact, how many times I said this? Segregation was the worst thing to the black community.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you on that. I'd never disagree with you on that.
100%. Because at this point, guess what? The same fights Martin Luther King marched on the Western.
Desegregation, yeah.
Yeah, desegregation. I'm sorry, but the same dream he had on the Washington Monument is the same dream we still fighting for today.
I never disagree with you on that. I
So
always
if we
said
still
that.
fighting that same dream, let's make it make sense.
When you-
If we would have stayed in our own little spot, in our own little space, and grew our space out like we should have, we wouldn't be having a problem of what our kids is learning,
Right. But
how our kids are learning.
But when you say that, E, don't you really believe that all of us, no matter what color, no matter what season, we would still want unity, brotherhood,
My question
and
is,
the
you
same
still-
thing that
I
he
can still
was,
have unity.
peace, everything.
I can still have that same
economic.
unity if I taught my own. If literally, when my child go into that classroom or go into that school,
Right.
they see Dr. V, they see Clarence, they see Mildred, they see me,
Right.
and we're teaching them what they need
What
to
they
learn.
need to know.
I'm just saying.
I know. You're,
So at the
you're
end of the
pro
day,
on that.
yeah,
To
and
have our own schools.
they have our own school,
hospitals.
Yes.
our own hospital, our own doctors, our own stores. And I mean, just think about that. We begged to be over there because we thought the grass is greener over there, which the grass is worse over here than it was over here. Let's be realistic about the
Do
situation.
you believe that'll ever happen?
And how can it happen now? Because the simple fact, we get indoctrinated and get our kids going to these different schools,
Well-
and they teaching them their knowledge, not
Yeah, but that's not the reason it's not going to happen. Truthfully, there's too many mixed, blended families and
And
cultures.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, if we have to go to their schools and get their knowledge, what they want us to believe and want us to learn versus what we need to learn and how we need to learn it, Pastor Terry said it best. The language. Can't nobody else
Learn
speak.
the language. Speak
Can't
the
nobody
language.
else speak our language but us. And I'm not talking about slang.
Right.
I'm talking about our language, our
Like-
conversation. Can't nobody else teach that but us. I'm done for the day. Can I get some cognac?
And I really didn't disagree with you on anything. If you had been more open minded and listened.
Oh my goodness! I said I was done.
Yeah, but you never let me finish. I let you finish. Can I speak my point?
Because you started
Yes.
off with some
Go ahead.
BS.
Can I speak my point?
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. I
See,
apologize.
it's
I love
all right.
you, Queen.
It's all right
I love you,
because you're
Queen.
not in the main. You're not in the mind frame.
Yes, I
to hear-
am.
No, really, you're not.
I'm in Malcolm mind frame right
no,
now.
you're like
by any means necessary.
You're like my 2-year-old when they want what they want and you just got to let them be what they
This
want
is
to be.
what happens when you
something?
have
You're right
men.
and I'm wrong.
I'm not saying you're right.
I can't even
it's-
imagine y'all
It's not an issue of right
together
and wrong.
with the
Here's what you
Super
was gonna
Bowl.
say.
It's not an issue of right and wrong.
I'm
You-
just
you-
saying.
I never
Finish what
argued
you
the
saying.
point. But we're gonna be. I really want to get this out before we leave here. We had somebody say this. I believe MLK and Martin Luther King Jr. dream is dead because it died with him. I agree with that. European Americans have destroyed just about every major leader party that the African Americans have produced. They do not want us to have dreams or aspirations. If it impedes their wants. They step on the black race every chance they get because they know they have the majority. They are afraid of losing the majority, and because of that, they only let African Americans get so far. That the dream is dead, but we are still dreaming and constantly modifying our dreams in order to get something accomplished similar to Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. We just need a leader they cannot destroy, and that leader will not be a person, but an endless group of people working together regardless if one dies.
And therefore they keep
That's the truth.
keep the purpose. So we keep saying dream, and that's the reason why I say the dream is not dead. And I say that because I'm looking at the cause, the purpose of what the fight was. And so as long as people are alive, I mean me, yes, I want equality, I want peace, I want all of that, but goodwill and the ability to pursue life, happiness, and all of those things. Who doesn't want that? So who's not going to continue to aspire for that? That's what I'm saying at the end of the day. And like this young man is saying, together, a group has to come together, but you have to have the cause in mind, pursue it, and continue to pursue it.
There we go.
So if somebody kill you off, then you
The
somebody
next
else
person
is.
step
That's
up.
what they're
Step up.
saying. So you have to have that common goal. I mean, I think that's what's in the Bible, right? On one accord.
On one accord. There we go.
More than one person. If Jesus needed some help in the
I'm
house,
put like this. He took
I'm just
12
saying.
men to turn the world upside
well,
down.
and that's all I'm
Let's-
saying.
let's make
If
it- let's make
Jesus
it make
needed some
sense.
help to
Yeah.
push his vision, yeah, I believe that it's okay to have a group. So I like that.
And we
I
got
like
we got to
that
move on
comment.
up out of here. We thank this comment and we thank E for his everything that he gave and put it into the conversation.
so you're so
but
full of it right now.
But E, we got to get out of here. What we tell the people?
Always protect your
No,
mind.
Thank
y'all
you.
ain't
Have a
even
good
gonna
night.
do it.
You know something, Clarence? I love you, bro.
I love you too.
But we're going to talk after this.
We gonna talk after this.
Because, oh, Jesus.
Oh Jesus!
Going home. Oh.